Right now. Right this very moment. Clarissa Shields is sitting in somebody's house, looking defeated, looking like a woman who just realized something. Something she probably should have seen a long time ago. And the internet is on fire, because Clarissa just went live. And what came out of her mouth had everybody stopping mid-scroll. She started talking about giving people money, paying somebody's rent, handing somebody thousands of dollars, and still, feeling like it wasn't enough, like she should have done more. And here's why this matters more than people are giving it credit for. This isn't just about a bad day. This isn't just venting. This is a pattern, a very specific, very recognizable pattern, and we are watching it unfold in real time. Before we go any further, please like, share, and subscribe, because what we are about to get into today, the people involved in this story are not going to want you to see it. So let's get into it. Let me set the scene for y'all, because context matters. Context is everything. Clarissa Shields, one of the most decorated female boxers of all time. Champion, powerhouse, a woman who built her legacy with her fists. A woman who stepped into rings that men told her she didn't belong in, and won, again and again and again. That's who we're talking about. That's who is sitting in somebody's living room right now, looking like the fight she's losing isn't in any ring. And here's where things start to get interesting. For those who don't know, Clarissa entered a very public relationship, a relationship that has been all over social media, with Papoose. Yes, that Papoose. Papoose, who has been with Remy Ma for years. Remy Ma, who is not just his partner but the mother figure to his children, the woman whose household he shared, the woman whose bills allegedly didn't always get paid on time, the woman who, word on the street, was left holding a financial bag more times than she should have been. And now, here comes Clarissa, bringing this man into her world, putting him on her platform, flexing with him, celebrating him. They were planning a joint birthday party, a whole celebration. The 28th was supposed to be a big moment, a couple's moment, something to post, something to share, something to say, look at us, look at what we built. But the birthday party got cancelled, just like that. No announcement, no explanation, no birthday content, no gifts on display. And if you know Clarissa's social media energy, you know that if Papoose had bought her something, or if she had bought him something, we would have seen it. We would have seen it wrapped in a bow with a caption and a smile. But there was nothing. Silence. Digital silence. And in the wild of social media relationships, silence screams louder than any post ever could. Now, this isn't the first time we've seen something like this with Clarissa, because you'll need to understand something about her history. There was Tony, her former fiancé. She was all over social media acting like she was head over heels, acting like this was the love of her life. She was going to marry this man, and then, gone, just like that. And the things they're saying about how she left Tony, we're going to get into all of that, because there is a pattern here, a very specific pattern. And when you see it clearly, everything that's happening right now starts to make a whole lot of sense. Let's start at the beginning of what set all of this off, because it started with a video, posted by She Can Talk podcast, and the title alone, I see it now. Clarissa Shields hints at betrayal. Fans react. Hints at betrayal. Let that sit for a second. Betrayal. Not confusion. Not frustration. Betrayal. That's a loaded word. That's a word you use when someone you trusted did something they shouldn't have. That's the word the internet chose. And then people started watching Clarissa's actual words. And she is not okay. She starts talking about giving somebody something. A gift. Money. $1,000, $10,000. She says, you give somebody 1,000 and they say you should have given me 10,000. You give them 10,000 and they say you should have given me 10,000 and a business plan. Let me just stop right there. Because that line, that specific line about the $10,000 and the business plan, if that ain't Papoose, I don't know who that is. She is describing a man who cannot be satisfied. A man who takes what's given and immediately says it should have been more. A man who received a gift and responded with a demand. And we have to connect some dots here, because this isn't coming out of nowhere. Remember the card game at the party in New York? When they were together, when everything was still publicly beautiful, she had cards laid out. One card was $1,000. One card was $10,000. She was offering him one or the other. Like a game. Like a test. And at the time, everybody thought it was sweet. Everybody thought it was romantic. Look at Clarissa taking care of her man. But now, she's on a live talking about giving somebody $10,000 and they still want more. She's connecting those same dots herself. She's sitting there and she said, and I quote, "It really just hit me upside the head." Hit her upside the head, like she was sitting there having a moment of clarity, like the fog finally lifted. And here's where things really do get big, because she's not just talking about money in the abstract. She starts talking about rent, about paying somebody's rent, about helping with a car, about a truck getting repossessed. Now y'all, word on the street. And I want to be clear, I don't know these people personally, but word on the street is that she came out herself and said that Papoose is paying her rent. That Papoose is covering her mortgage, her car note, her insurance. That's what SHE said. She put that out there publicly, as a flex, as a my man is taking care of me moment. But now she's in his house, on a computer, talking about paying somebody's rent, talking about doing things for people who aren't grateful. So which is it? Is he paying her bills? Or is she paying his? Because both of those things cannot be true at the same time. And the internet noticed immediately, because fans don't forget. Fans screenshot, fans archive, and fans were in the comments going, wait a minute. Didn't she just say he was paying her rent? Now she's saying she's paying somebody's rent. This is the kind of contradiction that makes people lean forward in their chairs. And let me tell you all something about Papoose's alleged history, because this is important. This is the historical architecture that makes this moment make complete sense. Word on the street is that when Papoose was with Remy Ma, a woman he had children with, a woman who went to prison and came home to him, he allegedly wasn't pulling his full financial weight even then. Remy Ma went away. She served time. She came home. And there were whispers. There have always been whispers about bills not getting paid, about financial strain, about Remy carrying more than she should have been carrying. And now this same man has moved from that situation into Clarissa Shields' orbit. And Clarissa is on a live saying somebody isn't appreciating what she's done for them. Do you see the pattern? Because I see the pattern. Clear as day. He didn't allegedly fully pay his way there. Word on the street says he hasn't fully moved out of Remy's house either. His things are still there. He hasn't fully moved in with Clarissa. He's existing in between. In the in-between space where nobody can fully account for him. And Clarissa is sitting there looking like a woman who is starting to do the math. Now, let's talk about what she actually looked like in this video. Because this matters. Words are one thing, but energy doesn't lie. She looks defeated, and I don't use that word lightly. This is Clarissa Shields, a woman who has stood in front of the entire world and knocked opponents out. A woman who carries herself with power and confidence every single time she steps into a camera. And in this live, she looks like someone took the air right out of her. She's at Papoose's house, and she's on her computer, not laughing, not flirting, not doing couple content, not sitting next to her man saying, I'm over here with Bae. She's alone, on a screen, talking to her followers, saying the people she does things for don't appreciate her. When do he make her happy? That's the question I keep coming back to. When does this man actually put a smile on her face? Because every time we see her on social media, she's either arguing with somebody, or she's looking sad, or she's venting, or she's doing something for him, not with him. And she dropped a line in the live that nobody seems to be talking about enough. She put Papoose on blast. She said he couldn't have been at a concert. She said he was busy handling the, you know what? She used a very specific term. She said he was handling the cootie cat. Brain action. Her words. And y'all, she said it without hesitation. She said it and kept moving. Like it was a fact. Like it was something she'd already accepted. And she didn't care about embarrassing him either. She really didn't. And here's where things get even more interesting. Because we have to talk about Tony. Because Tony is the missing piece that a lot of people are skipping over. And you cannot fully understand what's happening with Papoose without understanding what happened with Tony first. Tony was Clarissa's fiancé. Her fiancé. Not a situationship. Not a we're talking. A man she was allegedly going to marry. And she was all over social media with this man. Head over heels. Posting him. Celebrating him. Acting like this was it. This was her person. But here's the thing. Word on the street. And again, allegedly, she was not faithful during that relationship. She was acting like she was in love publicly while allegedly doing something very different privately. And then she dropped him. Just like that. Gone. And the way she got Tony in the first place, they're saying she took him from someone close, allegedly from a family member or someone connected to the family. She didn't just meet Tony at a party. She allegedly stepped into a situation that already existed. She took him, acted like she loved him, and then dropped him when she was done. Now, does that sound familiar? Because that sounds exactly like the Remy situation. Some people are saying she stepped into Remy's world, stepped into that situation, latched onto Papoose, is giving him money, time, energy, and public support. And here's my personal opinion. If she finds something bigger, something that serves her image better, something that puts her name in a better light, she will drop Papoose the same way she dropped Tony, without looking back. That is my personal opinion. But look at the trajectory. Look at how this plays out. It follows the exact same pattern. Intense, public, financially generous, then quietly falling apart, then gone. Now, let's go deeper into what she said about the gifts. Because people are dissecting this, and they should be. She said, you give them 1,000, they say you should have gave them 10,000. You give them 10,000, they say you should have gave them 10,000. And a business plan. A business plan. A business plan. Y'all, this man allegedly received a substantial sum of money. And his response was not gratitude. His response was, you should have included a plan. You should have done more. You should have given differently. That is not a partner. That is a person who has decided that your generosity is an obligation. That is a person who has mentally converted your love into a service. And Clarissa, somewhere between that card game in New York and this lie from his house, she started to feel it. She started to feel the weight of someone who takes and still manages to make you feel like you haven't given enough. And y'all, let me tell you something about that feeling. Because she said it herself. She said, I know that feeling. And the way she said it, the way her face looked when she said it, that wasn't a woman talking about a concept. That was a woman talking about a Tuesday, about a specific Tuesday when she gave something she was proud of and got a complaint in return. Let's talk about the car situation, because this keeps coming up. Word on the street. And I want to be clear again, this is street talk. This is what's circulating. She allegedly bought Tony a car. And when she was done with Tony, she took the car back. And that car was allegedly repossessed. And then she allegedly gave that car to Papoose. Now, if that is true, if she recycled an ex's car and handed it to the next situation, that tells you everything you need to know about how she moves. Because that's not just a car. That's a symbol. That's a story about how quickly value gets transferred in this world. And it also raises a very uncomfortable question. If she took the car back from Tony when that was over, what happens to the business plan money when things end with Papoose? What happens to all the rent she may or may not have been paying? What happens to the insurance and the mortgage and the whole financial picture? Because if Clarissa Shields moves the way the pattern suggests she moves, nothing is permanent. Nothing she gives is a gift without an expiration date attached. And Papoose, a man who has allegedly been financially strategic everywhere he's been, might not be thinking about that expiration date right now. But Clarissa, sitting in his living room, looking defeated, looking like she's doing math in her head, she might be closer to that date than anybody realizes. And y'all, I have to bring up Remy one more time, because Remy is the shadow in this whole story. Remy is the woman who is in the background of every single conversation about this. And here's the thing about Remy Ma. My personal opinion, I don't think Remy wants Papoose back. I think Remy has done her calculation. If she can get bills paid, if she can get some back taxes covered, if there are some furs and some material things that come out of a potential reconciliation, she'll hear him out. She's a businesswoman. She always has been. But want him back? Want to rebuild what they had? I don't think so. Because if Papoose goes back to Remy, what money is he bringing to that table? While he was with Clarissa, she was allegedly funding him, splurging on him, buying things for him, taking care of him. Word on the street is Clarissa likes to take care of her men. She likes to be the provider. She likes to be the one who handles things. And if that energy goes away, if the Clarissa money train stops, what does Papoose actually have? Some deals he signed while they were together that she'll still have to pay him for contractually. But those payouts won't be anything close to what he was getting when she was choosing to give. Because there's a difference between a paycheck and a woman who loves you so much she's handing you thousands at a card game. And Remy Ma knows that difference. Remy Ma is very, very clear-eyed about that difference. Now let's talk about something that hasn't gotten enough attention. She said somebody needs to hear this message. SHE said that. She looked into the camera and said, somebody needs to hear this. And her followers in the comments went, we know who that somebody is. Because when you're in a relationship and you go live and you say, somebody needs to hear this, you're not talking to strangers. You're not dropping general life advice. You are broadcasting a message. You are communicating something to one specific person using your platform as a megaphone. You are saying the thing out loud that you either haven't been able to say to his face, or the thing you have said to his face and he didn't hear. So you're saying it to 1 million people instead. Because maybe if enough people agree with you, maybe if the comments flood in saying, she's right, maybe then he'll take it seriously. That is the energy of a woman who is not being heard. That is the energy of a woman who has been generous, who has been loving, who has been giving, and is sitting there realizing he has never once made her feel like it was enough. And this is where I want to slow down, because I want to be fair here. I want to be balanced. Could Clarissa be talking about someone other than Papoose? Maybe. Her friend who is pregnant has been featured a lot. Clarissa has been publicly generous with her, and by all accounts, that friend has been publicly appreciative. She's been telling the world how much Clarissa has done for her, so it's probably not her friend. Could she be talking about family? People have brought that up. But here's the thing. People who know Clarissa's social media presence closely say she hasn't really been doing big visible things for her family lately. Not the kind of things she's describing. Thousands of dollars, rent, car payments, business plans. That's not a family story. That's a man's story. That's a relationship story. That's a story about someone you let inside, someone you trusted, someone you believed was your partner. And when you trace every single detail, the birthday that got cancelled, the gifts that didn't get exchanged, the live from his house where she looks sad, the card game and the thousands, the business plan request, the car, the mortgage she said he was paying that she's now describing as something she was doing for him. Every single dot connects to the same person. And y'all, there's one more thing I need to say, because people are asking, is Papoose about to get dumped? And I think that is a very real possibility. I think Clarissa Shields is in the early stages of a decision. She's not there yet. She still went to his house. She's still in his space. But she's also sitting there on a computer talking to her fans instead of talking to him. She's processing out loud. She's letting the internet into a moment that she probably would have kept private 6 months ago. And that shift, that specific shift from keeping it private to airing it publicly, that is the shift that happens right before something breaks. I've seen this pattern play out on social media too many times. First the vague posts, then the lives where they look sad, then the somebody needs to hear this messages, then one day, no more couple content, no more mentions, no more my man. Just nothing. And then a new era begins. And you're Clarissa Shields starting a new era after this would not surprise me one bit. Because this woman does not stay where she doesn't feel valued. She left Tony. She will leave anyone. The question is just whether she's already made the decision or she's still deciding. And based on that live, based on that face, based on that energy, she is deciding. Right now, she is deciding. And I want to connect one more piece of this. Because she made a comment about his activities. She put him on blast. She said he was handling the cootie cat. Those were her exact words. And y'all, she said that, publicly, without hesitation, without walking it back. She said her man was allegedly with another woman, at a time when he was supposed to be somewhere supporting her. And she announced it, like it was old news, like it was a known thing, like she was past the shock of it and had moved into the part where she just says it out loud. That is not the energy of a woman who is fighting for her relationship. That is not the energy of someone who is still hoping things will get better. That is the energy of a woman who has accepted a truth and is deciding what to do with it. And you combine that with everything else. The cancelled birthday, the live from his house looking defeated, the money talk, the rent talk, the business plan talk, the car situation, the public blast, and you have a relationship that is not just in trouble. You have a relationship that is in its final chapter, the last few pages, and everybody can feel it, except maybe one person. Here's what we're really watching. This isn't just a celebrity relationship falling apart. This is a story about a very specific kind of dynamic. The dynamic where one person gives and gives and gives, and the other person accepts and accepts and accepts, and calls it love. And that dynamic, that specific energy, is something a lot of people watching this video have lived. You've been Clarissa. You've given someone 1,000 and they said it should have been 10,000. You've paid a bill and they said you should have paid 2. You've shown up and they said you should have shown up differently. And at some point you're sitting somewhere. Maybe not in a boxer's house. Maybe not in front of a camera with fans in the comments. But you're sitting somewhere. And something hits you upside the head. And you realize, the problem isn't how much you gave. The problem is who you gave it to. And that's the moment Clarissa is in right now. That is the exact moment. And here's what happens next. In situations like this, where one person has given financially, emotionally, and publicly, the exit is never clean. There are contracts. There are business deals. There are things she's allegedly signed with him for work. She'll still have to pay him for that work. And that is going to sting. Because writing a check to someone who made you feel used, even if it's contractual required, is a very particular kind of pain. But Clarissa Shields is a champion. She has taken hits in the ring that would have ended most people's careers. She has come back from positions that looked impossible. And this relationship situation, this is not the hardest hit she's ever taken. The difference is, in the ring, you know who's swinging at you. In a relationship, sometimes you don't realize you've been taking hits until you're already sitting in the house looking defeated. And Remy Ma is watching all of this play out. And if she's smart, and Remy Ma is very smart, she is not rushing to say anything publicly. She is not commenting. She is not posting. She is letting the story tell itself. Because she doesn't have to say a word. The situation is saying everything. And as for Papoose, if these things people are saying about him are true, if the pattern that goes back through multiple situations is what people say it is, then the lesson is never being learned. And that is the most dangerous place for anyone to be. Not the person who got played. The person who keeps playing. Because eventually, the music stops, and you find yourself on the outside of every situation, with no one left to give you $1,000 and a business plan. So after all of that, here's where I need you. I need your thoughts in the comment section. Because this is a conversation. Do you think Clarissa is talking about Papoose in this live? Do you think the birthday party getting cancelled was the beginning of the end? And what about the pattern we traced? From Tony to this, do you see what I'm seeing? Is this a woman who is waking up? Or is this a woman who was never fully asleep? And the biggest question of all, is Papoose about to get dropped? And if he does get dropped, where does he go? Let me know everything in the comments below. I read them. I see you. I appreciate every single person who takes the time to share their thoughts. If you made it to this point in the video, you already know what time it is. Please leave a like. Subscribe if you haven't already. Share this video because people need to be talking about this. Your support means more than you know. It genuinely keeps this channel going. And I want to say a special thank you to every single day 1, 2, 3, and 4 who has been here. You know who you are. And I appreciate you more than I can say. Now, if you want to see another situation where someone in hip-hop got publicly played but the internet caught every single receipt before they did, you are not going to want to miss the next one. Check out the suggested video, because that story has the same energy, and it goes even deeper. I'll see you there. Peace.